because this Tyrod situation and Phillip Rivers leaving, I think he's way undervalued right now. Not way undervalued, he's undervalued.
What's up, Fackers? We are back with our Fantasy and Chill 101, counting down the top 101 fantasy football players for the 2020 season. Number 59 on the countdown is wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers, Keenan Allen. He is our 24th ranked wide receiver. Last year, he finished as wide receiver number 9. He was a top 10 wide receiver last year. His stats, he had 104 catches for 1,199 yards and 6 touchdowns on 149 targets. He scored 211.5 fantasy points, an average of 13.2 points per game. So Keenan Allen is always kind of there in the mix. If you just asked me without looking at any stats or any rankings, I would probably not have guessed that he was a top 10 wide receiver last
No.
year. He always kind of just finds his way into that pretty close to top 10 territory. I think the last 3 years he's been a top 15 receiver each year, and he's not a guy that you normally think about as finishing that high. He does have a new QB this year. He has caught every pass of his career from Phillip Rivers. This will be the first season he's working with a new QB. Right now, it's Tyrod Taylor. It will be Justin Herbert at some point this season. They're not just going to let him sit on the bench the whole year. He's pretty durable. So he only played one game in 2016, but since then he has not missed a game the next 3 seasons. So he hasn't missed a game in 3 seasons. Played all 16 games in 2017, 18, and 19. And last year we mentioned he finished top 10, number 9. He was pretty boom or bust. So he started out the year pretty strong, 3 straight good games, including the game versus our Texans, where he had like 40 points. They threw to him every time. After that game versus the Texans, he had 6 straight weeks where he had less than 10 points. And then end of the year, he kind of turned it back on. So I guess that's why you just kind of don't really think of him as that top guy, is because he did disappear for a while last year.
Yeah.
But he ends up being pretty consistent toward the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really worries me is the quarterback. Like, Keenan Allen has proven himself to be a wide receiver one, but he's got to take a step back this next year, especially with Tyrod Taylor there. And even you have Justin Herbert starts. Like, he's proven himself to be like a good route runner. He's not like a speed guy, but he makes decisive routes and catches the ball. And like you said, he's at what, 100 targets the past 3 years and over 1,000 yards the last 3 years. Very solid. But I'm looking to him as a wide receiver 2 or 3 maybe this coming year.
I'm glad you brought up Tyrod though. So we said what? He finished 8th last year, right? Keenan Allen?
9th in our league. I don't just
Okay.
just we have a little bit different
Yeah,
scoring.
yeah, we
So
have a
around
different.
that spot.
Yeah, so around 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And now he's going 19th overall as a wide receiver. Are we really expecting Tyrod to be that much worse than Phillip Rivers was?
I just don't know if the Chargers are going to throw the ball like they have in the past.
They really haven't been yeah, they run the ball quite a bit. But you look at last year, their pace was pretty slow last year. And Rivers is dumping off to a lot of the running backs. So I don't know what's really going to change besides the quarterback.
I'm just saying the last 7 or 8 years, Phillip Rivers threw for over 4,000 yards every single year and over 27, 28 touchdowns. Do you really see Tyrod doing that? I mean, last year had 23. It was a down year, but Phillip Rivers was slinging the ball is my point.
Yeah, no, I think Tyrod's getting a bad reputation though, because you see him with Buffalo, and he didn't really put up the numbers that a lot of these other QBs were doing. But when we go back and look at the Buffalo roster, who did he have on that team? His best receiver has been Sammy Watkins.
I mean, Sammy Watkins is pretty good, but
Is he? I think Sammy Watkins has been a little overrated. And in 2017, I think it was 2016 or 2017. I mean, Sammy got 1,000 yards.
Yeah, it was
from
his
Tyrod.
rookie season, I think. Yeah.
So we're thinking about the Chargers. It's going to be Austin Eckler, a lot of Austin Eckler in both the running and passing game.
Yep.
And then usually these quarterbacks, whether it's Tyrod, who is just kind of not really like progressing through his routes, just kind of first option guy, and that's what
Yes.
Justin was a rookie. To focus on tight end, so Hunter Henry, and the number 1 receiver, so Keenan Allen. So I think Keenan Allen will still be pretty heavily involved.
Yeah.
But I think more so this Tyrod Taylor, Justin Herbert is going to hurt like Mike Williams or the
Oh,
second,
yeah.
third guy.
I'm
Yeah,
super
yeah.
low on Mike
I
Williams.
have no problem with Keenan Allen. It's just if he's your wide receiver 1, I'd be a little scared. Like, I would
And I
definitely need another wide receiver ahead of
mean,
him.
look where I have him ranked 24 here, so I expect him to take a huge step back from number
Yeah.
9. He's still a guy that you can start. He's just not. I would not expect him at all to be a top 10 wide receiver this year.
Dude,
Yeah.
look at these guys
Nope.
going ahead of him, though. Calvin Ridley, like Cortland Sutton.
That one we've already talked about. That I don't understand the Calvin Ridley thing at all.
I mean, I guess you have Sutton ranked higher because we haven't talked about Sutton yet, but
I like Cortland Sutton. I like that.
Calvin Ridley especially, he's the number 2. Like, we know Keenan Allen's the number 1 on this team. Yeah, Tyrod's not going to throw the ball as much, but
No.
Tyrod throws these short routes, and Keenan Allen, he's not a deep threat receiver. He's definitely one of these possession guys that runs through the middle.
No, but I mean, Tyrod has to be accurate for Keenan Allen because Keenan Allen depends so heavily on those routes and stuff and being at the right time at the right place. And I don't know. 63%. His best year was Buffalo. He had 3,000 passing yards, completed 63%, 20 touchdowns. Like,
Again,
I just can't.
go
I
look
can't
at his
see him
receivers.
supporting. That's true, and it was in Buffalo. I agree, but he's not very accurate. And for Keenan Allen to be successful, I guess Phillip Rivers was a little bit of a slinger sometimes, but
Watch Phillip Rivers last year, and you'll see
true.
inaccurate.
That was his worst year. No, that was his worst year in a while by far.
And still, Keenan Allen was number 8, or 9.
Yeah.
So Keenan Allen, what's his actual ADP that you see? He went
It's
25th last year.
44 overall.
44. We have him at 59. So if he can maybe last to where we have him actually ranked, you might get some value out of that. But I don't know if I'd take him at 44.
Look, it may sound like I'm pretty high on Keenan Allen. I'm still low on him. Like, I don't like the Chargers offense at all. But I think just because this Tyrod situation and Phillip Rivers leaving, I think he's way undervalued right now. Not way undervalued, he's undervalued.
Okay, but they have Juju at 41 ADP. I would take Juju in a heartbeat over
Just wait till we get
Keenan
the
Allen.
Juju, because I'm about to Juju in my pants when we start talking about him.
Jesus.
But yeah, I think Keenan Allen's a little undervalued. I could see him being like a 12 to 15 receiver.
And here's kind of weird. Or they have DJ Moore at 35 ADP right now, wide receiver 13. That strikes me a little. I don't know. I don't see him and Keenan Allen with that much of a difference.
Yeah, Keenan Allen's still talented. He's only 28, and I just don't see the fall off from Phillip Rivers to Tyrod being a 10 to 15 spot difference.
I mean, if your top wide receivers were Odell Beckham and Keenan Allen, how would you feel?
Why do you bring
feel
up
like
Well, I'm just those are two guys you could get if you went running back.
Oh,
You
okay.
could get Odell and possibly Keenan Allen.
I feel pretty like good
Yeah.
about like a safe floor.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be too excited about them exploding for me.
Allen Robinson, 27 ADP. That's. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll be getting to him, right?
Well, obviously. Yeah, I don't think Keenan Allen has the ceiling some of the other guys have, but it gives you a decent floor, I think.
Yeah, a solid wide receiver.
Like we said,
too.
very, very solid, very consistent last 3 years. I think his finishes the last 3 years were like 11, 16, and 9, whatever he is this year. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Finish it off.
So Keenan Allen, guy you can probably get in. Well, we have him about the 6th round. You're probably taking him if you want him in the 4th or 5th. I don't know if he's worth that pick, but if he does slide, out with a lot of value in the middle rounds. So Keenan Allen, our 24th ranked wide receiver, number 59 overall. We out.
We out.
We're out.